this weather update, we're forecasting a cold air that will dominate the March month, as well as the winter storm that continues for the upper Midwest and is moving into the Great Lakes and northeastern region. I'll have everything on that and more coming up. Alright, welcome back into another more weather forecast video. I'm back in the weather room, as a lot of you guys probably know. I've taken a break for probably now a week now. We haven't seen totally active weather. We haven't seen much severe weather since that severe weather marathon that we saw last week. So I'm back in the weather room to do a forecast video. As some of you might know, in the community tab earlier this week, I posted a poll for the spring break forecast, and the kind of numbers were all over the place. Some people said around Easter, some people said next week, like how mine is. So I'm not doing a spring break forecast, but I am going to be talking about the cold air that is expected for the rest of March, as well as the weather that is going to go along with it. So let's get straight into the forecast, looking at the European model as we usually do. So right now, around the time of recording and forecasting this, at around 4:30 p.m. today, which is Thursday, there is some snow into Minnesota, northern Iowa, into parts of northern Illinois, and parts of Wisconsin. As we go into later tonight and into early Friday morning, so looking around 12 a.m., so early Friday morning into the pre-dawn hours, we will see that snow move into more parts of Wisconsin, as well as moving into the upper peninsula of Michigan, but especially the oven mitt region of Michigan, as I like to call it. Northern Indiana, as well as northern Illinois and northern Ohio will get in on the snow. But the Chicago area, you are right on that line where, we've seen that for a lot of storms this season, where you could see rain, you could see sleet and, freezing rain, or you could see snow. That's why there isn't much snow in the forecast for Chicago, but you could see a little bit there, and we'll get into that forecast here in our next little bit, in this video, which will be for probably, in a couple of minutes. So going into early on Friday, looking at 6 a.m. here, again, the storm will progress off to the east. Overall, it's not a strong storm, so this won't be extremely heavy snow, but it will go pretty slow. It'll take its time, and that's why we are going to see, pretty considerate snow totals. Not crazy high snow totals, but ones that we would see for probably a March storm. And also, because this storm is not very strong, we won't see much severe weather down south. Now, we do have a marginal risk for severe weather today, for tonight, into southern Arkansas, parts of Texas, but that's mainly just some thunderstorms. Some hail could be expected, but the tornado threat isn't even there, really. So overall, the severe weather threat is not that big, just some rain from Raleigh, North Carolina, over towards New Orleans, as well as Atlanta, as we go into later tonight, into early tomorrow morning. Then going into around 3 p.m. here on Friday, you can see the storms is moving off to the east and northeast, bringing snow to Pennsylvania, northern Pennsylvania, and into parts of New York. The main part of New York that will be affected by this is this part of New York and north of New York City, and to the west of Albany here, to the west of the Hudson River, and in the Buffalo, Finger Lakes region there of New York, Catskill Mountains region. That's where we'll see that snow, and this is going into 6 to 9 p.m. tomorrow on Friday, and we will see this low track off to the coast. So some people are like, oh my god, is a nor'easter about to form? Am I about to see a nor'easter on this map? Well, no, that is not what happens, but stay tuned to this video. Stay tuned for a little bit longer in this video. I will talk about possible nor'easter, but anyways, that storm does not really cause much. It could cause some snowflakes into the Hudson River Valley over towards Boston, but that won't be big accumulations at all. And then that storm does get out of here by the time we go into around 3 p.m. on Saturday. This is looking at 3 p.m. here in the afternoon, and it does go off to the east, kind of just fade off, go away from the United States. But then after this storm comes in, and while we're watching this storm over here, some snow is going to be coming into the picture here, into Minnesota and into parts of Iowa by the time we go into later on Saturday and into Sunday here. So we're going to have to watch this storm as well. Again, just another storm that's just going across this part of the country, bringing snow for the upper Midwest. It's not a very strong storm, but it will cause snow, it will cause some rain for down south, and that's really the pattern that we're in now, and it will turn into a cold pattern, and I'll get to that here in a second. But that storm kind of weakens out. It's just a Clipper system. We're not expecting much, maybe some snow, again, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, and Iowa here. But then what's interesting is with this storm is that it totally falls apart, but then we see another low pressure form down here to the south. And again, there's going to be rain down here in the south for both of these storms. So again, the rainy pattern for the south is definitely going to be happening here. But as you can see, this rides northward, and you're starting to pay attention to this, and a lot of people in the weather community are starting to pay attention to this. And as you can see, that rides up the east coast, and bada bing, bada boom, we got snow into the interior northeast, rain for the I-95 corridor, but the sign of a big nor'easter, of a big East Coast snowstorm, is here. Now, there is a ton of hype around this storm, and things are going to change. I unfortunately will not be able to update you guys on this, and again, this is looking at around late on Monday, so this is around 9 p.m. on Monday, because I am going on spring break on Saturday, and won't get back till the next Saturday, so I won't be able to update you guys on this. As always, follow me on Twitter for updates on this storm. Link, as always, will be in the description, but I won't be able to update you guys. I will bring my laptop on spring break, but I won't really be able to update you guys on this because I kind of just want to enjoy my spring break. But if I need to, I will make a video with my laptop if we really see something very significant here, which we could see, because look at this, 983 low pressure center. That is a big time storm, just pulling in that cold air, our first really big cold air blast of March here, and that's going to cause really cold temperatures, for March standards, into the Midwest Ohio Valley and the southern United States. It's also going to be pulling up warm air right here, and that's a sign of a very strong storm. And with that, we could have a lot of snow into New York, Pennsylvania, parts of New Jersey maybe, and into the New England region. Again, the timing, the exact details, the track of this are still going to change, don't get me wrong. But the signal and the possibility for a strong storm that will ride up the East Coast, cause snow and cause rain, is definitely there. This is likely going to happen. Just the finer details, we still need to iron those out. We still need to hone in on those. So again, just stay tuned to the National Weather Service. Stay tuned to me on Twitter, because this is going to be a storm we are going to have to watch. It will bring down cold behind it as well, and it will cause snow, and it will cause rain. It's going to be a storm we are going to have to watch. But looking past that storm into later next week, so looking at 6 a.m. here on Thursday, another cross-country storm comes in. Now, you can see the trend. These storms aren't very strong like we've seen for January and February, just those strong storms with severe weather. So the severe weather will likely go down for the month of March, which isn't very normal. But we will see probably a good amount of snow into the upper Midwest, Great Lakes region, and possibly, as you just saw there, the Northeast. But the pattern is, you might be seeing this now, is that we're just seeing wet, rainy, snowy, and big time cold for the rest of March, because we're looking at March 18th right here. I know that you feel like it was just, late February. In a little bit, we're going to be going into late March, so I know it's how fast time flies, but that will bring down more cold air. Of course, the details of this, we don't really know yet, because this is next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend. Of course, this will cause rain, this will cause snow, but the details on this, of course, we still need to hone in on. Probably won't be able to update you guys on that either. So again, it's important, if you want to get those updates, stay with the National Weather Service, your local news, and also make sure you go follow me on Twitter for those updates if you would like to get them from me. But again, the pattern, cold, rainy, snowy for a lot of the northern half of the United States for March. I know, you don't want to hear that, but it's realistic. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be snowy for a lot of the northern half of the country for March, and it's just going to be, frankly miserable for some people, because it's just going to be that cold rain or that, snow that you're over with in the northern part of the country. But it is what it is. Now, looking at the snow totals through Saturday at 6 p.m., you can see here's our swath of snow from Minnesota through northern Iowa into northern Illinois, northern Indiana, northern Ohio, and into parts of Pennsylvania, New York, and Michigan. In those purples and pinks, we have around 5 to 6, maybe up to 8 inches. In those blues, 5 to 8, and in those lighter blues, 1 to 3 inches. So say Milwaukee, we're probably going to be dealing with around 5 to 6, maybe up to 8 inches through Detroit. Through Sheboygan and Green Bay. Detroit, probably around 1 to 4 inches. And in Erie, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, New York, probably getting in around 3 to 5 inches. Of course, localized heavy spots. So overall, it's not a big storm, but again, it is March, and this isn't going to be a strong storm. So it's going to take its time, and it will drop some snow here. But for the coast, you can see we're not expecting much snow. Now, the early week storm next week, we may see a different situation. So again, follow me on Twitter for updates on that. So that's what we're expecting for snow. And again, the snow is from that Clipper system that we are expecting after this storm this weekend. But that again will bring down that moisture, and then we'll see another low pressure center form up here, and it'll go up the coast by Monday into Tuesday. And of course, we could see a big time storm again. I can't say enough. Go follow me on Twitter for updates on that. Now, looking at the Climate Prediction Center outlook, this is 6 to 10 day outlook, so from Wednesday, March 15th to Sunday, March 19th. And you can see here, into the southwest, we'll see probably around normal temperatures for the vast majority, though, of the country here, from California over towards the upper Midwest and the eastern United States. It's going to be cold. We're going to see wet, rainy, cold, and snowy pattern here for March. There's not going to be a lot of severe weather likely. I'll show you guys that severe weather outlook here in a sec, but it's not very big for the next couple of days because it's going to be cold, it's going to be snowy, and it's just going to be rainy, and it's just going to be not what we want for March. We're not going to be entering spring like a lot of people want. It's going to be cold for the month of March, and this just puts a stamp on that, because look at this. This is the from 8 to 14 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. This is from Friday 17th of March to Thursday 23rd of March, and I mean almost the whole entire United States besides Florida here and into New England area. Of course, this will change. It's going to be cold, and there's going to be cold blasts coming behind these storms. And again, it's going to be rainy, it's going to be snowy. So make sure you're prepared for that. You don't have a false reality. You don't think, oh, we're going into spring, it's going to be warm, because Mother Nature does what she wants to do. And in this case, Mother Nature is going to give us a cold, rainy, and snowy for some parts March. So make sure you know that, and you are prepared for that. Because we are going to have just not the best March in terms of weather. It's going to be cold, but I had to make an update here because it is a pretty significant weather story right now. Now, looking at the Storm Prediction Center outlook, this is going to be the last thing you have to listen to me talk about here, but looking at the Day 3 outlook, so this is for Saturday, we do have a slight risk in place for Little Rock and places to the east of Oklahoma City here. I don't expect this to get upgraded, but we could have some hail, we could have some rumbles of thunder, some thunderstorms, some severe thunderstorms here. So make sure you are on alert for that. And then also for Sunday, we do have a 15% risk. This is a Day 4 probability outlook. That's why 15% instead of a slight risk. We will get more details on that, as well as the Day 3 category outlook as we go into the future. As always, like I said, I will be posting updates on Twitter for that. Link in the description for my Twitter page. And again, the severe weather threat won't be a huge threat. I don't think we're going to have to watch for the rest of March. We could see it here and there, like with this. And also with this threat, I don't really expect a huge threat with this, maybe a slight risk. I don't really see it getting upgraded to an enhanced risk, but it's always possible. So again, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Stay updated with Storm Prediction Center, National Weather Service, and local news while on vacation, of course, whenever you want to, because they are, of course, great sources, much better than me, to look at when, you're looking at the weather forecast. But that about wraps up this more weather forecast video. Again, it's been cold, rainy, snowy, just kind of miserable for the rest of March. There's going to be snow in the northern half of the country, rain in the southern half of the country as well, and it's going to be cold. There's going to be cold air behind these storms, and we likely won't be having to watch for much severe weather either. Again, I will be going on spring break Saturday and not getting back till the next Saturday, so make sure you go follow me on Twitter. It's important. If you want updates from me, make sure you go follow me on Twitter. Link will be in the description. If your spring break is next week or whenever it is, make sure you enjoy your spring break. As always, stay prepared out there, and I will see you soon with more weather.